Hello and welcome to the studio where we paint away the stress of everyday life here in Wales, and thank you very much for joining me again today. So I thought we'd do a fun painting today, maybe using some different types of things to paint with. Intriguing? Well, after the introduction we'll have a look at the palette and I'll explain exactly what I mean. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. I know a lot of you are not subscribing at the moment, just viewing. I would really appreciate the subscription. It doesn't cost anything. It's totally free and my lessons are free as well. That is very important to me. It just helps encourage my channel to grow, and that's the important thing. So without further ado, I've got a little bit of ultramarine blue, some Prussian blue, some mid yellow, some mid red, some white and black. We're just going to have a fun painting today, and I did mention some products. So I'm going to just use just a stippling brush. You can buy these at www.clive5art.co.uk along with some retarders, some medium mixes, all the other things that I've got on the shop. Please go and check it out. I'm going to be using a script lining brush today. That's one of these long pointy thin brushes. And if I use another brush, we will have a look at that in just one second. So yes, also maybe some of these little things, cotton buds, you can buy them in packs like that. So I don't quite know yet exactly what I'm going to be doing as far as they're concerned, but I think I'll just do a very quick easy background. I'm just going to grab any old brush I've got. There you go. This is not the best brush. It's got a little bit hard on the edges. I need to clean these. There's a cleaning tip that I can give you for cleaning your brushes if you want to know. Ooh, that's a bit dirty, isn't it? Let's just maybe chuck that up there. We'll clean that one again. Let's just get that dirty water. That wasn't good. Okay, so I think I just used that for doing another canvas. So just get a little bit of white. I'm going to smallest amount of red. There you go, and some yellow. There we go. A nice little bit of yellow just in there like that. Do you know, I might even chuck a little bit of tiny smallest, look at that small drop of Prussian blue in there. Let's get that nice colour that I'm looking for. Maybe a little bit more Prussian blue in there, a little bit of yellow. There we are. Is that nice? Is that nice? Maybe a bit more yellow. A bit more yellow, a bit more red. A little bit of Prussian blue. Don't want too much. There we are, try that. That's better. Then we just put that on the background like this. You might see a shadow of a butterfly drawn into this canvas, because this originally the butterfly painting I did the other week was going to be on this canvas, and it was going to be a portrait, but I decided to do a landscape instead. So I drew the butterfly onto this, and then I decided to draw the butterfly onto another bit. So I'm just going to get some white into that now, just like this, just flicks of white. This is going to be a quick, easy painting today. If you've never painted before, then I know you can do this. So just basically just put a little bit of white in, just into your canvas, or your canvas. This is a little bit of cardboard again. I'm just using up a little bits of cardboard I got now, and just leave it rough like that. There, just leave it rough like that. Easy, as simple as that. Not a big problem, really. Okay, so moving down, I want to get some yellow. I'm just going to add the smallest amount of white to this yellow because it's a little bit transparent. The yellow I've got is a little bit transparent, so I'm just going to add a smallest amount of white to it because I just want to get that opacity that I'm looking for. A little bit of yellow just down there like that. I'm going to just tap down the brush into some white paint, just tapping down, just going on the very edge of the bristles like that, and then just going to just tap in with some of that white paint, just like that. Okay, nice and bright so far, nice and bright. The smallest amount of red, smallest amount of red, and bring in a bit of red in, just like this. Bit more red. Gotta be careful. I don't want to go too red too quick. So I just want an orange type of color, just there, just to change that tone of color up. And then as I'm coming more into the centre, I'm just getting a brighter, redder feel. Just a brighter, redder feel, as you say. You can see I'm going red, 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 red. Just using this big brush at the moment. Just getting that to flick in like this. Now, getting a bit of that yellow. Again, like we just did with the white, over the red, just like that, and then getting a little bit of that white again, take a little bit off you on some kitchen paper like that, and I'm going to just tap that in. It's a good way to make a really nice, effective paint effect, if there's such a thing to say that. There we go. So I'm just going to wash my brush very quickly. I need to wash my brush really, really well, because now what I'm going to do is come in the far side with some blue and some white. Just like that. Again, get some white. Now if you want to keep this line really straight, if you want to, I'm not really worried about it. This is more of an idea I wanted to show you what I want to do. Again, getting that stipply effect in, just like that. There you go. Oops. 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 Let's get a little bit of paint off there. I just dampened my brush a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit of Prussian blue just into that blue colour now, just to darken it a touch. I don't want too much paint on my brush. Just to darken that colour. Now as we get to there, we get some ultramarine blue over there and some red. And get a little bit of white. You can see we made a nice purple colour. So it's a good way to practice colour mixing as well as having an enjoyable painting process. And you can bring a little bit of purple in now to there as well. We can just mix a little bit of that in, just like that, and we can get a bit more red into there. Strengthen that up a little bit like that. And washy, washy, brushy, brushy. wash the brush, go back into some of this nice light blue we made, bring a bit of that in there, and merging all this together then, just like that. Get a bit more yellow. Let's get that hint of green just down the bottom then. So we got all these wonderful colours mixing and merging together. Nice bit of white on our brush again. And we're just going to carry that effect just across like that. A bit of darker blue now. Let's get a bit of red. What we want to do now is get some yellow. Tappy tappy, brushy brushy. A bit of red. Just merging all that together. There we are. So that's a quick way of doing a nice effect. I know it looks a bit winky wonky, but I don't mind. If you put a bit of masking tape there, you might be able to get that nice and straight. But if you're struggling, then you could just make that, if you wanted to, you could just make that a little bit rough, like that. Maybe get a little bit of blue and stuff. You know, instead of having a sharp edge, just make that edge a little bit rougher like that. There we are. Just to break the line up. Just a little bit like that. You get the idea. You get the idea. All I do in my lessons is, it's not about perfection, it's about giving you ideas. I want you to proceed and improve on these things. This is what I do. This is what I do. Now, we could use excuse me. We could use some of these kitchen these what do they call them? Cotton bud things. Tap into some yellow. And we could do some nice yellow spots like this. We'll do the side of the tree with the cotton buds. Because I'm going to do a painting a tree today. I'm going to go back into some red. And it's half term. This is school holidays here in Wales. So if you want to paint with your grandchildren or your children, then this is a good project to get into, because it encourages them to paint, to get off those iPads and iPhones. It also encourages them to learn how to make colour mixes. You can just do this whichever way you want. And as we come in, get rid of that one. I want to try a bigger one. I made a big one, look. Just dampen it a little bit. I want to get a little bit of blue on red now. So I'm going to put some blue over there. Get some red. I'm making a purpley colour. And then as we come over, we go back into some blue. Just add in a little bit of white. And then just keep adding the white to it. There you go. Be careful, this tree will grow out of proportion, mind. If you're not careful, it will run away with you, and that's not what you want. You want to make it look sort of realistic. Sort of realistic. The other thing you could do is use this type of brush, which is a foliage brush. And these are pretty good. You will find these on my website at www.clive5art.co.uk, and you can put in some foliage. This is what I use a lot for foliage. You'll see that I use a lot of this type of brush for foliage because it gives it that nice tree look, I think. There you go. You can see it makes it look a little bit more realistic as far as the tree is concerned. There we are. We need to get a bit more yellow in here as well, I think. So there's a couple of different methods that you can try. I personally like using a brush. Because you get that more of a stippledy type of effect. But you know, whatever tools you got to hand, that's the important thing, is that you use whatever you got to hand. So if you've only got some kitchen buds, cotton buds, or you've got a foliage brush, or whatever brush you've got really that works for you, then that's fine. That's all you need to do. You don't have to worry about being specific and going out buying certain tools and things. And if you've only got what you got to hand, and I'm a great believer in using what's available rather than going spending my money on stuff, then that's important that we just enjoy ourselves as well. Let's get a little bit of Prussian blue into there. I just want to darken this area up a bit, just like that. There you go. Anyway, you get the gist. You continue with this as you want, and just build and build and build on that. And then what I suggest you do is, let me just check. I'm in the bin. Bump. Okay. Let me just what I suggest you do is get a bit of Prussian blue, if you've got some Prussian blue. If you haven't got any Prussian blue, it doesn't matter. Get a bit of black in that case. That's fine also. And what we can do now is we can put our tree trunk in, just like this. Just like that. And then we can bring our branches up from the tree. There we go. It's one of those Ikea trees. Ikea trees that you find in Africa and places. I think they're called Ikea trees or something like that. Something similar to that anyway. But it just makes an effective little painting, and it's something that anybody at any skill level can actually do. And believe it or not, these things actually do sell on craft fairs and stuff. So if you're looking for an idea of something different, and what I used to do when I was doing craft fairs was I'd have a little table put aside, and I'd encourage the children to paint and draw with me, and they could do something like this, and they could take that home with them then. And you can charge them a couple of £pound for that if you wanted to, or not. It's entirely up to you. Entirely up to you what you want to do with that. There we go. Should we put any more in? I think that's okay like that. But you get the idea. You can do a better job than I can. I know you can, because you are really good at what you do, because I've seen all your lovely paintings on my Facebook group and the comments that you were giving me on my YouTube channel, which is very much appreciated, along with your subscription. Don't forget to click the notification bells. If you wanted to do, this is what I normally do, just for a bit of fun, because I quite like to do this. I just put a couple of birds maybe flying in the background like that, and there's a quick, easy, simple painting that you can do. If you've got a bit of fun, if you want a bit of fun, or you want to spend time with the children, just encourage them to paint. Do a better job of me, obviously. But until next time, thank you very much for joining me in the studio. Don't forget to click the notification bell, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.